Welcome back, Line and Wealth Club, to another episode on the Line and Wealth Club podcast. We have a good one for you today. Again, we're going to be talking about Donald J. Trump and Kamala Harris. But today, it's going to be interesting. We're going to be talking about who benefits union workers. Not unions, union workers. We're talking about the workers directly. I do invite you all to like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. We're trying to hit 2,000 subscribers, so help us knock out that goal by just subscribing. It's doesn't cost anything. Just hit us with a subscribe, check out our videos, give us a like. If you dislike it, dislike it. If you disagree, comment. We're always open to a discussion. Also, I invite you all to check out our website, LatInWealthClub.com, where we have a blog over there. You could get a newsletter on your email where, anytime we post anything about crypto, politics, or anything that we stand on, anything that we find informative that you could potentially capitalize or use to capitalize, go over there, check it out. But once again, nothing we say here is financial advice. Any financial decision should be considered, discussing it with a financial advisor. So take a risk at your own risk. But this is your host, MP, and behind the scenes.
Easy.
Yeah, man. What's up with that lag, bro?
I wasn't ready for it.
You weren't ready? Anyways, bro, who do you think could potentially be better for union workers?
Damn. According to media channels, it's Kamala Harris.
You know what? Yeah, according to media channels. But I think the only thing that media channels leave out is that they say Kamala Harris is good for unions. I don't ever hear them say union workers. I just hear unions. Now, I do want to make this clear. Unions and union workers are two different things, right? The union is it's just their little group of people that protect them and negotiate contracts with them. It's not the actual worker. The actual worker is just protected by them. That's like, oh, those are my lawyers type thing, my representatives. You see what I'm saying? It's just people like my Congress. My Congress is fighting for my contract this year, right? That's essentially what it is. They pay dues, and this union protects them and stuff like that, which is good. It was good back then when it first started. But I feel like it's gotten to the point where it's corruption. My dad is a union worker. I do want to make this clear to anyone watching out there that could potentially be like, Mario's anti-union, Mario's a Republican, Mario's a capitalist. Yes, I'm all of that. But I actually come from a union family. We are ILWU Local 13. My dad is a top handler down at the Port of Los Angeles. So just so you guys know, just so I make a full disclosure, I do come from a union family. I personally do not believe in unions. But I respect them and I understand why they exist. Now, I want to make this episode to, inform all my union workers, ILWU Local 13, IOA, all the unions out there, who's going to benefit you more, right? Now, I do want to make this episode a little bit more on ILWU in Pacific because obviously that's what my family does. I have cousins my age that are longshoremen. I know a lot of longshoremen personally. And, when it comes to politics, it's always like a 50-50 matter for them, right? They always want to vote for the union, but then some of them are now trying to vote for their own selves, for their personal beliefs, for their personal wallets, you know what I'm saying, for their personal network. So let's get right into it, guys. So when it comes to Donald J. Trump and Kamala Harris, Donald Trump, his stance on unions have always been like 50-50, right? Because he pushes a lot of right-to-work pay. And what do I mean by right-to-work pay? This means like if I work in the ILWU union, AZ, and I don't want to be a part of the union. I don't want to pay dues to the union. I just want to work in that industry. Donald Trump, he pushes that. He supports that. That if I'm working a construction job, but I don't want to join the union, I have the choice not to pay dues and not to be represented by the union. So Trump pushes that, and essentially that's what makes him anti-union, because Kamala Harris, on the other hand, doesn't support that. For example, if we're construction workers and by a huevo, we need to be a part of this union, right? Donald Trump's like, no, you don't have to be a part of it. If you don't want to be a part of it, you don't have to be a part of it. You can continue to work here, though. While Kamala Harris is like, no, you have to be a part of it. And the reason why it's anti-union for Donald J. Trump is because essentially that weakens the union. By you having the option to leave, right, then you could negotiate your own rate by yourself while the union is negotiating.
That's what I was going to say. What's the benefit of not being it? It's just being able to get more pay or keeping more of your money, maybe?
Yeah, okay. Essentially, yeah. But it's also, I feel like it's also, that's freedom, bro. I feel like that's freedom in the marketplace. Like you're not forced to join a union.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I feel like that kind of leaves room for competition.
Yeah, it does. But then I guess the opposite is.
I think you're muted.
No.
Oh, you're good. Okay.
But I think the opposite of that is that then companies will try to undercut the employee, right, by paying them less than if they were.
They could, but then he has the right not to work.
Yeah, that's true.
So like essentially this gives the employee more right. While with the union, the union's a representative. So if I'm the boss or I'm the company and I want to fire you and you're a part of the union, I have to go through your union to fire you.
Yeah.
But even then, your union's going to give me a bunch of like runarounds and stuff like that.
Yeah.
While if you're just no union, I could just fire you directly.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So
For sure.
it is some type of difference, but I want to make that clear. That's what makes Donald Trump anti-union, and that's what makes Kamala Harris pro-union. It's just the fact that one supports right to work pay and one doesn't support right to work pay. But when it comes to actual policies, you see Donald J. Trump's policies is pretty focused on reducing taxes on overtime and tips, which literally will directly increase the take-home pay to many union workers, and particularly the service labor-intensive jobs. Now, union members need to also remember that their earnings, you guys rely a lot on overtime. Let's be real, man. You guys, and most of the longshoremen, when you guys put in that overtime, you guys love your check. Not only that, but when you guys only work 4 hours and get paid for 8, come on, you guys know you guys like that pay. You know, mostly when it comes to those top handling jobs or whatever jobs you guys are doing out there. Donald J. Trump's policies are pro-business, and they support deregulation and reduce corporate taxes. You know what that means? That means that they'll create more jobs in traditional sectors like shipping and manufacturing. This will increase your job security and potentially push higher wages, right? If you have more money, then you could potentially negotiate more money. If you see that they're making more profit, you could potentially, negotiate more wages, more wage pay and all that. Now, I do want to make it clear about the right to pay, right to work pay and pay, policies. Those don't affect ILWU or ILA. Just so you guys know, those do not affect you. Those affect other unions like welding, construction, and so on. When it comes to ILWU, when it comes to the port, everything's under the union. So the right to work does not affect them. It could potentially affect them, but I don't think so. I don't think anyone's going to want to work at the port not protected by a union. But going to Kamala Harris's policies, she's pro-union, which is like good, right? The union's going to try to push it like, oh, Kamala's for us, Kamala's for us. But she's only really pro-union because she's going to put more regulations on companies. She's going to increase the tax liability on these companies. In the long term, negotiating is going to get harder. Job opportunities are more than likely going to become smaller. And job security might not be as secured because, again, if it's harder to negotiate, you think those contracts are going to take longer or faster to negotiate? Come on. It's pretty common sense. Right? But again, this is directly to my ILWU members. When it comes to unions, yes, union-wise, Kamala's better because of regulation. But when it comes to long-term prosperity of that union, it doesn't work out because Trump is going to lower that corporate tax, meaning more profit, meaning you guys have that leverage to negotiate more wage increase. Literally, you guys have more leverage when they're making more money. When they're making less money, what kind of leverage are you going to have? You're going to have a difficult time negotiating, right? And you got to also remember that these tax policies, you longshoremen make a lot of money, right? You guys make over 6 figures when you start out, right? So let's talk about tax policies, right? When it comes to Kamala Harris and Donald J. Trump, you have one guy telling you we want to lower overtime pay, we want to lower tip pay, we want to lower literally, he's also flirted with the idea of deleting federal income tax. But at the end of the day, let's just talk about what he's even said, right? What he has proposed. You longshoremen also like buying toys and cars. Did you hear that he also wants to delete car interest, right? And what I mean by delete car interest is when you do your taxes, you could deduct the car interest as a normal person. You don't have to be a business owner, right? That's going to benefit you guys. The overtime pay is going to benefit you guys. Right, you'll be saving an annual amount of like $5,000 to $15,000 in just taxes alone. Right, I just want to make that clear. But when it comes to Kamala, when it comes to making over $100,000, she's going to increase your taxes just slightly, but your tax credits are really what's going to increase. Do you want the government to control more of your money, or do you want to control your money? I think that's a question to ask yourselves. But just a little short and sweet episode for you guys today. Who's better for union workers? I don't know. In my eyes, Donald J. Trump. AZ, after hearing this episode, bro, who do you think is better for the union worker?
Oh, Trump.
Trump. All right, now, so for all you union workers, don't go for Kamala. Donald J. Trump is literally going to protect your wallet. When it comes to unions, yes, the deregulation there might affect a little bit of it, but in the long term, it's going to help you guys with the negotiating. It's going to help you guys literally negotiate more profit because the companies will be making more profit. I don't know. When it comes to job security, when it comes to having more money and all that, you have to remember that's where it's at right now in the short term. And in the long term, job security is really where it's at. Even though AI will eventually take over everything, it's always better to have more money in your pocket so you can save for a rainy day, invest for a rainy day, and just be prepared for the potential of AI takeover. So for all you union workers, let's make sure to vote for Donald J. Trump. Kamala Harris is going to put more of a tax burden on you. You're not probably going to have much job security in the long term, and it's only really going to benefit the people you're paying dues to, right? I think I would rather it benefit you directly and not just the unions. So with that being said, all money in, no money out. Stay dedicated, stay motivated, and we'll see you on the next one, Ladder Wealth Club. Let's make sure we're voting for Trump, and don't be a little bitch.